Hello everyone, welcome to Study Room. I hope you all are doing great and studying well. I am Prataksha, your biology teacher, and today I'll be discussing with you chapter 13 of science that deals with biology. The name of the chapter is Why Do We Fall Ill? So in this chapter, as the name suggests, we will be studying about the difference between a healthy body and a diseased body. We'll be learning about what are the different kinds of diseases and how can we combat against these diseases. It's all about, this chapter is all about taking care of yourself and identifying and preventing yourself against diseases and keeping yourself healthy. So without any further delay, let's get started with the chapter. Food is a necessity for cell and tissue functions, and anything that prevents the proper functioning of cells and tissues will ultimately lead to a lack of proper activity of the body. So what happens when you fall sick? When you fall sick, you feel a very uncomfortable sense inside yourself, right? You feel that you're not up to your positive, enthusiastic self. You feel that you need to lie down, you feel like you need to, take some rest. So what happens is that when you fall sick, the proper functioning of the cells, the metabolic activities, be it respiration, be it growth, all right, these activities, they get disturbed. And as a result, on the macroscopic level, by that I mean on your physical level, you feel that you are tired, all right, you are in a state of constant fatigue, okay, you have fever, or maybe you have a running nose. So all these kinds of symptoms come up, and when these come up, your body, it's an indication that your body is telling you that you need to take rest and you need to take care of yourself. So it is in this context that now we will talk about the concept of health and disease. So when I say that a body is healthy, I mean that that body is capable of interacting with others in a very enthusiastic manner. It is capable of interacting with its surrounding, and it is also capable of being in a good mood. So there are factors such as physical, there are factors such as psychological, emotional. So all these factors, they determine whether a body can be called a healthy body or a sick body. Okay. Moving on, let's talk about the significance of this health. As I have been talking to you, health means a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. Physical, that means your body has to be in that constant state of physical energy. Your body should be energetic. Okay, it has to have energy so that it can interact with other people around you, and not just your people but also with your environment. Your mental well-being is also important. Say you're feeling very disturbed or you're stressed about something, maybe your exams are coming up, or maybe there is something that some concept that you're not able to understand. All right, so all these can lead to mental fatigue as well, and when you are mentally tired, it reflects on your physical well-being. All these are interconnected. Okay, then social well-being is also important. Okay, so you have to have that that capability inside of you, that desire inside of you to interact with others. Interaction with others is important. If you take one corner of your bed and inside your room, and you're just there for the rest of the day, for maybe say a week, a month, and you're not talking to anybody in your home, be it your parents, be it your friends, if they're coming to meet you, that is not an indication of a healthy body. It means that something is constantly on your mind that is affecting you to be physically active and to be socially active. All right, so these three components of being physically active, being mentally fit, and being socially fit, okay, these three factors, they signify the concept of a healthy body. It cannot be something that each one of us can achieve entirely on our own. There are some factors. All right, so some conditions are also necessary for good health. You cannot say that when you wake up one day, like, oh, I'll be physically fit, I'll be mentally fit, and I'll be socially interactive. Okay, so you may want to be all of these, but sometimes there may be some factors that hinder you, that stop you from achieving this healthy state of being. Okay, these factors are good physical and social environment and good economic conditions. So if you're living in a place where your physical environment is not safe, or your social environment is not safe, okay, or if you're living in a condition where you're not able to procure healthy nutritious food for yourself. All right, so these are the factors that determine whether you can achieve a good healthy body or not. As you can see in this picture over here, there are people who may be living in adverse situations. They it may be not under their control. They may be so unfortunate, but they cannot help themselves. So what do I mean? So I mean that there has to be clean drinking water available. Okay, clean drinking water, and there has to be uh, purified air. Okay, the place where you're living, it should be ventilated, all right, so that the air can pass through. Okay, and you're not living in a suffocated environment. So your housing should be good. You should have access to clean drinking water, and there are so many things. You should have access to healthy nutritious food, as you can see over here in this picture. Okay, so all these factors, some may be under our control and some may be not under our control. Okay, for example, in this picture you see that this lady, she is bathing her son, and then she's sweeping, and then she's washing clothes. All right, so this water that she is using, that may be fit or that may be unfit. Okay, that totally depends on that person's living physical and social environment. All right, also the food that we are eating, that should be prevented from contamination. That food should not be in open in the air, so that say flies or mosquitoes or any other microbes come and they litter around, or maybe they sit on your food and contaminate it. So all of these factors, these are necessary. These are the outside factors that directly affect the significance of your health. Personal and community issues affecting health. So now that we know that good physical and social environment, they are necessary for a person's well-being, and in that we also saw that clean surroundings are important, clean drinking water is important, yes, proper garbage disposal is important, good sanitation is important. So what happens is that sanitation, the way your bathroom manners are, the way you carry yourself, your personal hygiene, that is very important. If you're not, say, carrying yourself personally well, okay, you're not maybe washing your hands after you use the washroom, or maybe you're not washing yourself properly when you're bathing. Okay, now you're constantly coming in touch with so many of your people, right? You're coming in touch with the parents, say your other family members, say your friends. All right, so indirectly you are also affecting their health by not keeping yourself clean. Okay, so good sanitation manners, they're important. Clean surroundings are important. For example, the place where you're living, if that place is filled with garbage, if there is no proper garbage disposal in that area, and you're constantly in an environment where there is huge heaps of garbage, and you know that garbage attracts flies, they attract mosquitoes and all sorts of bacteria and microbes that are very hazardous, that are very harmful for your health. Okay, so if you're living in those surroundings, that may affect your health. All right, so both personal and community issues, they go hand in hand. They are dependent on each other. Okay, you can have you can have very good personal hygiene, but if you're not living in a place where the community hygiene is not good, then your personal hygiene, even if you're taking care of yourself very well, you may not be able to affect that healthy body. Okay, good economic conditions such as job opportunities for earning to have nutritious food and lead a healthy life is important. Now you know that food, they provide you with nutrients, right? They provide you with protein, carbohydrates, fat, there is vitamins, there is minerals. All these factors, all these nutrients you absorb from food. Okay, so if your economic condition, if your monetary condition does not allow you to have to access these nutritious food, also clean drinking water. Okay, so if all of these are not under your domain, then how will you be able to lead a healthy body? Okay, so there are some factors outside of your own desire, outside of your own, say, will, that directly affect your health, And these factors are personal as well as community based. They are interdependent. Okay, personal and community health, they are interrelated, they are interdependent. All right. Distinction between healthy and disease free. Disease, in other words, literally means being unwell, uncomfortable. Okay, we talk of disease when we find a specific and particular cause of discomfort. So if you're feeling very uneasy, if you're constant in a state, if you're in a state of constant malaise, that means you're unwell, you're not feeling good, you're having something inside that you cannot actually pinpoint, but that is affecting you. Okay, affecting your physical health, your physical well-being. Okay, then that may be a symptom, that may be a sign that you are entering a diseased state. What happens in a disease is that your body, it falls ill and you're not able to perform your daily tasks enthusiastically. But it is important to remember that it is also possible to be in poor health without actually contracting diseases. So there may be times that you may feel that you're not feeling up to your mark. You may feel that you're not feeling maybe energetic enough, or maybe inclined enough for a particular task. Okay, or even if it's just very simple, so simple such as socializing. All right, meeting people, meeting with your friends, say. You may encounter such phase in your life. That does not mean that you are physically sick. That does not mean that your body has entered into a disease state. But still, you're not in a healthy state. All right, you're in a case of poor health. So your poor health is not just determined by your physical well-being, it is also determined by what is going on inside your mind. It also depends on your mental well-being. Or say if you're not having proper nutritious food. Okay, say you're having food, you're having, for example, there is a very surplus intake of junk food that you're taking. All right, you're not having your proper nutrients in the right amounts. So what this can lead to is that your body, it may not be in a state of disease, but you may feel that you're not feeling very energetic enough, or you're not feeling in that state where you can do your daily tasks, do your daily chores with so much efficiency that you used to do earlier. Okay, so a case of malnutrition, that means you're taking your food but you're not taking your nutrition properly. All right, the nutrition that are required for your healthy well-being, they are not present in your body, and that leads you into a state of poor health. So this is the distinguishing factor between a healthy body and say a disease-free body. So you may be in a poor health, okay, but you may be also in a disease-free state. Okay, so simply not being diseased is not the same as being healthy. Poor health is an indication that you are not having a certain disease, but poor health is an indication that you need to take care of your health. You need to take care of your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, your psychological well-being. Okay, there are factors. I'm writing this down for you. There are factors such as your physical well-being, okay, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, how you're carrying yourself, whether you're feeling happy, whether you're morose, sad all the time, and your psychological well-being. What's going on inside your mind? Are you overthinking? Are you ready for this? If you're determined, then what is stopping you to do a particular task? Okay, so these symptoms, if you're facing any of these uneasiness, so you may say that your body has not contracted a disease, but you may be in a condition of poor health. Okay, I hope this is clear. So the distinction between being healthy and being disease free is that being healthy is a state of well-being enough to function well physically, mentally and socially, and being disease free is simply the state of absence from disease. Second difference is that your being healthy, it refers to your physical as well as your social environment. Like I told you, your physical and your social environment, they are dependent on each other, they are interrelated. Okay, whereas being disease free is totally only limited to your individual well-being. It refers only to the individual. Third difference is that the individual has good health, all right. A healthy body indicates that the person has good health, whereas a diseased body or a disease free body, that individual may have good health, or that individual may have poor health. So if you're disease free, you may say that, oh, I have a healthy body, but say you're not doing mentally well. Okay, so you're physically well, but say you're not mentally well. So that is an indication that you may have poor health. So being disease free does not always mean that you're a constant state of good health. Okay. State any two conditions essential for good health. Essential for good health. So you know that for having a good health, your physical well-being, your physical hygiene, plus your community hygiene, how things are there in a community, whether there is a proper garbage disposal or not, whether you have an access to clean drinking water or not, whether your community is the people in your community, they're taking care of themselves, maybe they have not fallen into an infectious disease. These things are important. Also your economic health, your economic state is important, right? Whether you have, because your economic state determines that whether you have access to nutritious food or not. Okay, whether you have access to clean drinking water or not. Okay, so your economic state, your job opportunities, your monetary condition, these are also important um, for the state of your good health. Your monetary condition, that means your condition related to your financial status, your economic condition, all right. How much money you are having, whether that money is enough to procure nutritious food or not. If not, then you may or you may not be, but usually if you're not having a very well economic condition, then you may be prone to causing indirect damage to your own health. Okay. State any two conditions essential for being free of disease. So if you have to have a body that is free of disease, the very obvious thing is that your body should be, disease free. That means that there should be an absence of disease. All right, there should be an absence of disease. And what can be the other condition? All right, the other condition is that your individual well-being should be important. All right, being in a state of being in a disease free state does not depend on community. Being in a state of healthy body, it does depend on both your physical as well as your community health being. But if you're talking about just of being disease free, all right, if you're just talking about being disease free, then that does not depend on your community health as well. That only depends on how you're carrying yourself. So that individual perspective is there. Okay. Are the answers to the above two questions necessarily the same or different? Now we know that the answer to the above questions, they are different. All right. Why they are different? Because a state of good health, it varies from a state of disease-free body. And we have seen this difference in the earlier slide where you had that difference column, right? Let me quickly show you to that slide again. So you can have a look at this differentiation again. The distinction is that when you're in a state of good health, that indicates you have good physical well-being, good mental well-being, and good social well-being. Whereas being disease-free is just the state of absence of disease. The second thing is that your state of good health, it refers to both your personal well-being as well as your community or your social well-being. Whereas being disease-free, it just and solely depends on you. It depends on the individual. And being in a healthy state, that means your body has good health. Whereas when you're in a disease-free state, your body may have good health, you may be healthy from all perspectives, or you may be not in a state of good health. You may be in the state of poor health as well. So you may not have a diseased body, but you may be in a condition of poor health. So this is the chief differences, the fundamentals of being, healthy, what is a healthy body and what is a disease-free body. I hope this is clear to you. Moving on, let's talk about disease and its causes. So in this part of the chapter, part 1 of this disease and its causes, we will be learning about what is disease, what are the different kinds of disease, and what leads to diseases. So in this part of the chapter, our main focus would be on the signs and on the symptoms of diseases. If you have contracted a disease, what are the signs? What are the indications through which you can tell that yes, your body is in a state of physical uneasiness, your body is in a state of malaise and you're not feeling good, so maybe you're entering into a disease state. So let's talk about this part now. What does disease look like? Tissues make up physiological systems or organ systems that carry out body functions, and each organ system, they have specific organs and they perform specific activities. We have seen this in the cell and the tissue chapter, right? That all of us have tissues, and tissues, they make up organ, and organ, they make up certain organ systems, and they carry in coordination of their specific function that make up the whole individual. All right. Example, the digestive system has stomach and intestines, and it helps in the digestion of food. The musculoskeletal system, it consists of the bones and muscles that that determine how you're able to move your body. All right. So all these different systems, they work in coordination with each other, they work in perfect harmony, and they ensure that your body is able to perform all the different tasks together. Okay. But what does disease look like? When there is disease, either the functioning or the appearance of one or more systems of the body will change for the worse. These changes give rise to symptoms and signs of diseases. So when your body enters a state of disease, the functioning or the coordination of these various organ systems that I just talked about, okay, the functioning of these organ systems, that may get interrupted. Okay, either one or more of the organ systems, the functioning, the carrying out of these organ systems, that may get interrupted and that may change for the worse. When that happens, say your digestive system, there is some problem in your digestion and your digestive system is facing some problem, so your body naturally will not be able to intake a lot of food, because the food that you already had before, they are not being digested well, right? So when that happens, your body may enter a state of disease, and that may your body, the inability of your body to not intake more food, that may be a sign, that may be a symptom that your body is entering in a state of disease. Symptoms of disease are the things we feel as being wrong. These are basically indications, all right? Indications that are telling yourself, that you're telling your own body that something bad is about to happen. It's like you may consider this to be like a bad omen. Okay, bad omen related to your body, related to your health and your own well-being. These indicate that there may be a disease, but they won't indicate what the disease is. Okay, so we have a headache, we have cough, we have loose motions, we have a wound with pus. These are all symptoms. For example, now we all know that we are in a state of COVID-19, right? This coronavirus has afflicted all of us, okay? And the most common symptoms of coronavirus, they are also the common symptoms of your common cold, your influenza, which you also say, okay? So what happens in both of these states? The similarities are that you will have headache, you will have fever, you will have body pain, and you will have, say, a running nose, or you may cough. Okay, so there are 3-4 symptoms that are indicative that your body, it may have the common cold, that is your influenza, or your body could also have COVID-19. This is a very this is a very common thing, that when COVID-19 had first afflicted all of us in the last year 2020, many people, they were getting alarmed Okay, many people, they are in a state of distraught that, oh my God, what is happening? Whether I have the, the viral, which you say, the viral fever, the common cold, or whether I'm having COVID-19. Okay, so the symptoms, the problem with the symptoms is that symptoms is only, they are only indications. They don't tell you whether you're having a viral or whether you're having a coronavirus. Okay, that symptom is just an indication. That symptom is just an, you may say, a sort of an omen that is indicating to yourself, your body is indicating to yourself that it is not in a state of well-being, it is not in a state of good health, and that you need to lie down, you need to rest. So for example, a headache may mean just examination stress. Again, a very common example. When your exams are coming near, you take a lot of pressure, and due to a lot of pressure, you may experience headaches. So, okay, so a headache may be just a result of that examination stress. Okay, or very rarely that may be the cause, that may be the symptom of meningitis. Okay, which is a disease. Okay, so this is the main thing that you need to remember about symptoms of a disease and about concluding what kind of disease you are having. Can you identify these symptoms over here? As you can see in this pictorial representation, this man is about to sneeze. Okay, so he may or may not have common cold. Sometimes some pollen allergy or some dust particles that also cause us to sneeze, right? It does not necessarily mean that we have cold, okay, or we have that viral fever, but it may indicate the beginning of that viral fever. Same goes to this person, this female over here. She's also carrying a handkerchief over her nose. She seems to be in a very severe state. All right, this person may be experiencing headache from, you say, examination stress, or maybe some other sort of mental stress, or that maybe that headache could be a symptom of some other rare disease. This man seems to be lost in his own thoughts. Okay, whereas this person, the indication of the person's hand near his heart, that may indicate that maybe he's just thinking something very from the emotional side, or that maybe that he's experiencing some pain. You may have noticed one thing, that when you are in a very overwhelming state of grief, your area around your chest, it pains, right? It does not mean that your heart is literally suffering something. It does not mean that your body is contracting a disease, but it may be just a symptom that your grief, that overwhelmingness of that grief is indicating you, is telling you to just hold on, relax, and accept what is going on. Okay. Similarly, this may indicate an ear pain, an ear disease, again a headache, again a headache. This may be due to headache, or this may be due to some overthinking, some mental stress that is going on. All right, these two, they may indicate that a stomach problem. All right, this may indicate a stomach pain, or this may indicate diarrhea even, or maybe just a common gastric problem, and this may indicate back pain. All right, so these kind of symptoms, they may lead to very something very trivial, something very common. All right, just like just a pollen allergy, or maybe something very also severe, like say a very a very afflicting viral fever. Okay. What does disease look like? So signs of disease are what physicians will look for on the basis of the symptoms. Signs will give a little more definite indication of the presence of a particular disease. And when you go to a physician, when you go to a doctor, they first of all ask you what symptoms you are feeling. All right, what has happened to you? How do you feel? What kind of malaise are you suffering from? Are you having a headache? Are you having a stomach pain? If you're having a stomach pain, then in which part of your stomach is paining more? So expert physicians, they will the part that you indicate, from that part they can determine whether, say, your stomach is actually paining, or there is some problem in your pancreas. All right, so physicians, they always ask for your signs, for your symptoms, and from that from getting a gist, getting an idea of those symptoms, of those signs, then they assign you laboratory tests in order to pinpoint the disease further, in order to actually locate the cause of the disease, and then for the treatment, that how they may treat you. For example, over here, you may have, symptoms such as trouble in getting pregnant, okay, infertility. This is a female related issue, and this may also be a male related issue. Infertility happens in both men and women. Excessive hair growth could be a problem. Weight changes and trouble when you're having trouble losing weight, this may be an indication. Ovarian cysts, low sex drive, irregular or missed period, menstrual health problem, very common in women. All right. Then you have this male pattern baldness or the thinning of hair. Okay, again a very common male symptom. High testosterone levels. It can happen either in men or women. Insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can often lead you to an indication of diabetes. Fatigue. What is this fatigue? Is this fatigue is just your common harassment from work, or is this fatigue an indication of, say, a viral fever? Okay. Acne. If you're having a very if you're having common acne on your cheeks or on your nose or on your forehead, so are these very normal occurrence that occur with age, or is something else going on, something rare going on? Mood changes. When you're having an excess of mood changes, that can mean that it has something to do with your hormones. Okay. So these are the different factors that some people may neglect. Okay, but the wise thing to do is, if you're facing problems like these ever in your life, it is recommended that you meet a physician, you meet a proper physician for that particular problem. You explain to them the kind of symptoms, the kind of disease you're having, so that a proper diagnosis of that disease could be held and a proper treatment of that disease could be started. All right.